I probably might have talked about the school of life a little too much, and that's because they publish a lot of books, and more importantly, they publish a lot of really good books. And no, this is not a sponsored podcast. I never do that. It's just that their books are quite amazing. For those of you who don't know, the School of Life is a collective of psychologists, philosophers, and writers, all of them operating under a common brand. And this was started by the writer and philosopher Alain the Botton. You can check it out yourself, their website or YouTube channel, or all the different books that they have written. But if you just want to pick one book from this organization, I would say go with the book called The School of Life itself. It comes with the tagline, the emotional education, and quite rightly so. They teach how you can work on your emotional health, how you can improve your emotional intelligence. And there are a few interesting things that I found in this book that I thought I would share with you. So let's start. Let's start with in the beginning, writer talks about education. And he tells us about the problem in our modern day education. So I'm going to quote a couple of sentences from the book. He says that it's easy to notice the problem of education in modern societies because on the one hand, we have reliably educated pilots and neurosurgeons and actuaries and hygienists, and we have offered great lessons in the irregularities of French pluperfect and textbooks on the conducive properties of metal alloys, and have created massive infrastructure based on our understanding of science and technology. And yet, rarely does our education system prepare us to deal with relationships or marriages, or learn kindness, or become the best version of ourselves, or just navigate our path in this chaotic world where shame and rage surround us. So basically, no place for our emotional health. These are really, really important points in our lives, and yet our education system doesn't really prepare us for this. Because in our education system, the underlying assumption is always that emotional insight, it might be the unnecessary or in some ways unteachable. It doesn't come really under any method or some kind of reasonable aptitude. And this is one crucial myth that this book aims to debunk. And as I said, it wants us to teach the key to emotional intelligence. This is really the primary goal of this book. That is to help us become emotionally intelligent. So what really is this emotional intelligence which they're talking about? And before that, we really have to talk about what intelligence is. So let's start with that. Let's start with intelligence. So first of all, we must recognize that there is no such thing as an intelligent person per se, and probably not entirely dumb person either. We all are astonishingly capable of messing up our lives, whatever the prestige of our degrees is, and yet at the same time, we are never beyond making a sincere contribution, no matter how bad we are in terms of our educational qualifications. So, in a sense, there are really different kinds of intelligence. There is mathematical intelligence, there is culinary intelligence, literary intelligence, and so on. You just name it. The point here is each one of us is quite intelligent in one way and probably really, really dumb in so many other ways. So, this point is really crucial when we talk about intelligence. Now, let's move a step ahead and talk about emotional intelligence. And when we speak of emotional intelligence, what we are alluding to is whether somebody understands key components of emotional functioning. We are referring to their ability to introspect and communicate, to read the moods of others, to relate with patience, charity, and imagination to the less wonderful moments of those around us. So there are a few qualities of an emotionally intelligent person they specify, which I think are quite helpful and you would like to know. First of all, the emotionally intelligent person knows that love is a skill, not a feeling. That it requires trust, vulnerability, generosity, humor, sexual understanding, and even selective resignation. The emotionally intelligent person gives themselves the time to determine what gives their working life meaning and has the confidence and tenacity to try to find an accommodation between their inner priorities and the demands of the world. The emotionally intelligent person knows how to be hopeful, how to be grateful while remaining absolutely clear on facing the tragic consequences or the tragic situations of life, because tragedy is an essential structure of existence. The emotionally intelligent person also knows that they will only ever be mentally healthy in a few areas and at certain moments. But they are committed to understanding their inadequacies and warning others of these inadequacies in good time with apology and charm. This is exactly why we need emotional intelligence. It makes our lives rich in the truest sense of the word and meaningful. And it also protects us from needless emotional suffering. And even more than that, the author tells us that there is huge need of emotional education in today's world. Because today we've got wonderful educational institutions where we study science and art and literature, and all of that happens in universities. So we have this idea of education where we go to universities and professors are telling us, they are guiding us and teaching us various life skills. But when it comes to truly, truly important life skills, nobody comes to help us. Even more so, after a certain age and point in life, we are mostly on our own. We are on our own facing these difficult times. And that is why we have to be our own guide. The tricky thing is, education doesn't really stop. Life never stops teaching. So it's entirely up to us to be prepared, to be ready to face these harsh life lessons and go ahead in life. And that's why we need emotional education. Because just think about it. The most important milestones of our lives, they never get marked like the graduation ceremonies or exams. Nothing like that happens. For a lot of us, our greatest achievements don't lie really in clearing a university exam or probably getting a job, but overcoming certain fears, building relationships, getting over relationships, or reconciling with our partners, our friends. These are really, really important and wonderful skills that we should aspire to learn. And that's exactly we need this book. That's exactly this book, The School of Life, aims to achieve.